good morning. It was incredibly cold last night. We've had a really heavy frost. That's about 3 this week. And I'm here at a venue that I've never ever fished an open match at before. I fished one club match here. It must be at least 10 years ago, and obviously a lot's changed since then. I'm here at Hayfield Lakes. Thankfully the lakes are free from ice. We're expecting 20 odd anglers, but this is a rod and reel match, so there isn't any pole fishing, so it's obviously going to be bomb fishing, method feeder fishing. I don't know if there'll be any waggler fishing. I haven't actually brought the waggler with me. I'm just going to keep it nice and simple, but it's going to be nice to fish a new venue I basically don't know virtually anything about. Pick 25, Island, Jamie Harrison.
Jamie Harrison?
Yeah.
Island, 20 what?
25, yes, that's it. Got my fishery pellets. I've drawn peg 25. Doesn't mean anything to me other than I'm going to be in the sunshine, so that bank has got some sun on it. You can park behind your peg there, and I'll talk you through how I'm going to tackle it as soon as I see the peg. Wickersley angling mug, how about that everybody? Nice gift for Christmas. Look at that, all those big name anglers autographs on there. Wickersley angling on sale, ready for Christmas. Somewhere here, I think it may even be an end peg. I've been told it's not really the end you want to be at, but if it's an end, then that always feels better, doesn't it? There we go. You see how sharp that frost has been. Can't see what number that is. Be careful not to slip on here. There's a 25 in there, just. If I melt it with my fingers, you can just see it. There we go. So I'm on the end here by the looks of it. Flat calm, bright sunshine. Just had a look at the temperature gauge on the van. It says it's -1 at the minute. But that sun will obviously make it a bit more comfortable for me to sit in it. But I'll talk you through the approach and everything once I'm set up at the box, because I've literally only got about 35-40 minutes now to get set up. So I'm going to get some winter gear on, and yeah, I'll talk you through what I'm going to do when I get down there. Oh, well, I'm a bit warmer now. That sun, as you can see, I think it's going to go round to the right. Bait tray, super simple. I've spoke to a few people, try to get a bit of advice, and to be fair, it sounds like a lot of it is going to be waggler fishing. I haven't brought the waggler. They catch with a pellet waggler here, but really deep, you know, sometimes up to 12 feet deep, which is full depth in some areas, but they can catch at any depth other than that. That's not an option for me today. I haven't brought it. So I've got the bomb, I've got the method feeder. Fishery micros, I've got them soaked up, alright, there already. I've got plenty there in case I decide to feed balls of them down the margin or closer in. And then I've got fishery 8mm pellets that I'm going to be just firing out there with a strong catapult, and I'll just trickle those in out there in front of me. And then I've got some hook baits, just got a selection of wafters, and that is it. Can't really get much simpler than that, really, can we? And that's it. So the two rods I've got set up, I'll quickly show you. I've just got, these are basically the rods that I'm using when I'm fishing the Lindome Bomb and Feeder Winter League. I've just literally just grabbed those rods and put them in. Okay, so I've got XR 3000, as you can see, and that is to 9-foot Bomb XRC. That is it. It's got, I don't know if this is 6 or 8. This is 8-pound Horizon mainline, and I've just got a size simple 10-gram bottle. Well, it's not a bottle bomb, it's a pellet bomb, 10-gram pellet bomb. and that is it. I've got some rubbers there so I can adjust the length of the hook length or the length of the tail, and that is what I'm going to fish with over that loose fed pellet line. And then the other rod, I've only got two set up. The other rod is an 11 foot. I haven't got a mega chuck here, so I've got a commercial Horizon Pro 11 foot, 3.3 meters. This has got a HX Pro 3000 reel on it, and I think this is 8 pound Horizon line as well. And on that I'm just going to kick off with a free running 20 gram inter size open method feeder, and that is it. That is it. I'm going to kick off with a wafter, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fire pellets straight out as far as I can comfortably feed them with that catapult, the 8mm pellets in that area bang in front of me. And then I'm going to start off on the method over to the right. I'm not going to go too far out because I've got lots of water to explore, and then I'm just going to see what happens. I'm actually looking down the lake to my left, so I'm going to see what's caught down this bank, as you can see down there. So I can see everyone there, I can see one or two over there, and there are a couple of anglers over to my right that you probably can't see because of the sun. So I'm going to get an idea of how it's fishing, and then obviously I can dot this around all that open water. And then I probably won't go to my left margin, but at some stage I will be tackling this right hand margin. So I want to keep that nice and quiet. I think I was going to feed some corn down there, but I haven't heard anybody doing that. So I think I'm going to feed small bowls of micro pellets, I think, just as far as I can comfortably throw them, and then I can drop a method feeder on that later on. But I'm not going to feed that line just yet. So it's really just a case of feeling my way into it and just seeing what's happening. But it's not a fantastic area, to be fair, even though it is on an end. According to that's why there's so much room. But you know, when you've got an MPEG, you've got to expect that when you've got all that water in front of it, that you're going to get some sort of a visit. So apologies if it's really dark on the camera, but that sun will move around. So that's it. I'll have a cup of coffee, and we're fishing 10 until 3. I'm going to go over there, just past that shadow. Quite a bit of depth out there, and that is it. Set that stopwatch, get the butt rest in place. Wow, that was a real rush job today, but we're all set and we're fishing. Right, get some few pellets out there. I want to put many in, as you can imagine. I'll put half a dozen to start with. Put them in line with those main trees there. That's it. I'll put 6 more in. And that's it. Just going to be really careful not to feed too much on that. If the fish are up in the water, then it's something that might help draw them down depending on how I feed it. So that's it. I'll have a cup of coffee and just see what happens. Well, I was going to have this as a 10-minute cast, but I had a quick little flicker. I thought it might develop, but it hasn't, so that's been out there. That's 12 minutes. I haven't seen any fish caught, but what I have seen already is that it looks like the waggler plays a massive part of the approach here. I can already see 4 anglers have actually started on the waggler, and they're feeding very frequently as well. 1 or 2 of them are feeding more frequent than what I see some people feeding in summer, which is interesting. So obviously that's not an option for me, but the last thing I want to do is feed so frequently that those fish, if there are any fish in front of me, I need them to be down on the deck, not up in the water. So it's really surprising actually how frequently they're actually feeding. So obviously I want them down on the deck, so I'm not going to feed as frequently as that. So I'm just going to stick on 10-minute casts to start with, just until I get a feel for what's happening. But it's very cold. I think it's 1 degree now on the temperature on the van, and it's we're expecting it being a slow start. Well, this is my fourth 10-minute cast. I've had a couple of little indications, just as a little liners, really slow liners. I'm seeing a few more anglers on the waggler now. Lad next to me has just picked his up. He's been feeding that. In fact, that was an indication there. That was an indication then. I don't know if it's a liner or what, but the forecasts I've had have been to that same spot. Obviously I can start searching around if I need to. There's quite a few wagglers going out now. Looks like some of the lads have got kind of a couple set up at different depths. I'm sure I've seen 2 or 3 fish rising right down there in the middle, right in the middle. I had a chat with one of the lads this morning and he said that's where all the fish were on the last match, right in the middle of the lake, those middle pegs out in that open water, and it was 1 row they caught on the waggler. I'm sure there's fish moving down there. Can't make out if they're ducks or not, but there's probably half the anglers now on the waggler. So if I don't get anything on this cast, I'm just going to go a little bit further and just start searching. But obviously keep that, I'm going to keep this loose fed pellet line going. Obviously I could drop a method over this, just feeding 4 8mm. Just there. Seen the first fish caught. 2 anglers to my left. Not sure what he's fishing. He's just on that point, as you can see opposite that point on the island. Did start on a method feeder, but I'm not sure what he's on now. I'm on a longer cast now. It's been in 14 minutes. I've not had an indication. Little carp, about 3 or 4 pound by the looks of it. That's the first fish we've seen caught. Well, we've been fishing just over an hour. I haven't had a fish yet. I've had an odd little indication. I've just gone straight out in front of me now, but further across towards that rope. So I am further out, well, virtually the middle now. But my line is actually going through my loose fed line, and I've had 2 or 3 little indications on the tip. Obviously liners. So possibly they might be fish that are over that line where I'm loose feeding. I don't know. Only seen that one fish caught. In fact, he's just playing one now actually. 2 anglers along to my left. He's playing one now. So that's the second one. He's had another one, and then I think there's been a fish caught on the right hand bank over there. I think that might have just been a small fish. I'm not sure. And that's all I've heard. Yeah, he's definitely playing another fish. I haven't been on my bomb line yet, but I am going to have a look shortly. The eagle-eyed ones amongst you may notice I've now got some corn. It's just a confidence thing. So if these fish are up in the water, which it looks like they have been, and they're known to be up in the water, I just think something like corn is obviously going to stand out much better down on the bottom. So if those fish are up in the water looking down, then grains of corn are going to stand out much more than an 8mm pellet. So I've just started putting the odd grain of corn in as well, mainly pellets, but the odd grain of corn on that loose fed line, and obviously that gives me the option of putting a grain of corn on as well. I've just done it for a confidence thing. I haven't heard about anybody loose feeding corn on here. It's all been about the pellet from what I've heard, so, but that's a confidence thing. So this has been out there 7 minutes, so I'm going to give it 10 minutes. If I don't get anything, I'm going to have a look on that bomb line. Yep, that looks a bigger fish than his last one, that one. The way that he was playing it, looks like he is. That's on the bomb as well. Not a little indication. Just had a little rattle like that, as though a roach or something had got it in its mouth, and it never hooked. I reeled in and cast back out, and that's been out there 3.5 minutes. Definitely little rattles, but I've got a feeling there might be small fish. Well, I'm on the bomb now, as you can probably see. The lad, 4 pegs down. Looks like a small fish, a skimmer or a bream. That's his 3rd fish. I've seen another fish caught. It must be about 12 pegs down on the waggler. I couldn't see what it was. I just saw him putting a fish in the landing net. Sorry, in his keep net with the landing net. And that's it. That's all I've seen. So this lad here is, like I say, chucking just off the point of that island, still on the bomb. I've just had 2 casts on the bomb. First cast I had with a nice bright grain of corn on, F1 corn. And I had a small fish, well I think it was a small fish rattle on it. Didn't hook up with anything. And then second cast I went back out again with corn. And I just had a little rattle, but nothing's materialised at all. It's very, very quiet, so just put a pellet on, hard banded pellet, same as what I'm feeding, an 8mm fishery pellet, just on the band. And I'm just going to have a 10-minute cast on this. That's all he's doing, he's just sitting waiting, being really patient. He's not feeding much. And I'll just see what happens on this. If I don't get anything on this, I think I need to start thinking about exploring this water around to my right now, just to see if I can just either pick a fish off from somewhere or find a pocket of fish or a ball of fish. Obviously I'll keep feeding this line. I haven't fed my margin yet. So yeah, we've been fishing just over, well, 90 minutes, hour and a half now, so it's very, very slow. Well, we've just gone past the 2-hour stage, so it's just gone 12 o'clock and I haven't had it aside. I had a few drops on that loose fed bomb line with pellet and with corn. Just had the odd little small fish rattle. So I've just gone back on a method. I had a couple of casts with a method feeder over that line as well, which didn't produce anything. I've just gone back now to where I actually started, because that's obviously had a good hour or so of being untouched, basically. You know, and I obviously will have left a few mica pellets there. So that's been out there now. It's been out there 11 minutes on that spot, and I haven't had a single sign, not an indication. They're catching a few on the other bank, but in the middle of the bank. I've seen a few fish caught on the waggler as well down there, right down in the middle of the bank. As we look down over there on the other bank, they've been catching, and they've caught some about 10-12 pegs down there as well. But this end of the lake is just really, really quiet. The lad on right hand bank over there, he had 3 in 3 casts from nowhere, nothing. He just chucked his bomb out and he's had 3 in 3 casts and then nothing. So they've gone, so he's got 3 fish and that's it. So what I'm going to do is, rather than just sit here and hope this goes round, I'm going to keep this method feeder on, but I'm going to just work my way around to the right now into this quieter area and just see if I can find a fish. Well, I don't know, the next peg's just had his first bite. That's on the bomb, that's a carp. Nice fish. I'm actually on the bomb now, bomb and corn, and I'm literally just searching out all this area here, just dropping it in different areas, trying to just find a fish, but I haven't had an indication doing it. It's a bit desperate at the minute. Well, I'm feeding my margin line now, just little nuggets of pellets, just there, just down into that slightly deeper water, in line with that next, well, just past that next platform. Just somewhere else to try, isn't it? Well, we've got an hour to go, and I've just put a single grain of corn on, and it's been out there 6.5 minutes. And look what we've got. A roach. Do you think that landing net's big enough for that roach, do you think? Oh, there we go. Finally a fish, but certainly not the target that we were after. Shining nicely in that sunshine. Single grain of corn. Those little rattles I were getting, obviously they were small fish. Well, still haven't been down that inside line, down the margin, but I'm just going to give it a few more minutes before I go on that. Until then, I'm just going to stick on this. I'm going to go back to a pellet, I think. Well, we haven't blanked anyway, but I haven't seen any more fish caught. It's really, really hard. It's the hardest day of the year, to be honest. Yeah, back to an 8mm pellet over that loose fed line. Yeah, but that had been in, well, it's on 7, just under 8 minutes. I'll give it a few more minutes on this and then it'll be time to have a look down there. This fish is angry. Well, that has frightened me to death. That has been in 90 seconds. Back on that bomb line. I've literally just switched the camera off. And there were no warnings or anything. You know, no liners, no indications. It just charged off. Just on that hard 8mm hard pellet, just like I've been doing all day. I haven't done anything different. The only thing I did do is, it was a very good fish, this one. Just refed that right hand margin with a couple of balls of pellets. It's about 35 minutes left, 40 minutes left. But like I say, this is, I mean, I've fed this line all day. I haven't even had any proper liners or anything, no signs of better fish. I've had a few little fish rattles throughout the day, which I thought may have been roach or little skimmers, and then obviously I went and caught that roach. So that would suggest that, you know, there are some smaller fish there. But as I'm looking down there now, I can see anglers playing, 2 anglers playing fish on the waggler. I'll tell you what, to say the temperatures went below 0 last night and there was frost everywhere and bits of ice down the edge. This is fighting incredibly hard. To say we've had these frosts this week. I don't know what they fight like in summer. Got all those bubbles come up then. I'll disturb something down there. There he is, he's coming round. That's it. Oh, there we go. Finally. That's a good fish. Finally found one. Well, we're off the mark. We finally got one. Get him in the net, see if there's any more out there. Certainly no mistake in the bite though. Charged off. Good job. Good job I had that drag set. That's all I'm saying. So let's get another pellet on. We've got time for a couple more. Let's just hope there's 1 or 2 going to turn up now. We keep that margin fed, obviously. Let's get back out there. Like I said, there's only. In fact, what I'm going to do is do what I did last time. 3 pellets. Give them a second to go down. Come on, swans, keep going. These swans have definitely got attitude. That's one thing I've learnt about this lake. There we go, over the top. Yeah, it was only in a minute and a half, which is brilliant. That's it. Get that drag set again. Come on then, let's have another one. Getting greedy now. I don't know where they've been all day. Where have they been? I don't know, have they been there? Have I fed it wrong? Should I have fed a bit further out? I don't know. I don't know. Look at that. Fishing. Hey? What can you say about fishing? What's that been in 20 seconds? I've gone all day without a bite. Getting to the last 35 minutes. And I up 2 in 2 casts. It had only been in there seconds. Absolutely. Winter fishing. Well, feels a decent fish. This one hasn't ran like the other one, although it probably will now. I've just said that. Pardon? No, they've found me. I definitely haven't found them. It's unreal, isn't it? That first one, it had only been there a minute, and then I've chucked in, and in 20 seconds it's gone straight round. I don't think I'll be catching 80 to 100 pound now. A bit late for that. There's another good fish, but I had a chat with one of the lads this morning, Alan. Not seen him for a long time, Alan Barker. I had a chat with him this morning. I didn't realise he'd been fishing here, and he was saying the average stamp, you know, is a really good stamp in here. That's why I put the big landing net up today. We've got a bit of a messy scoop, that one. Might be a tiny bit heavier, that one. Well, there we go. That's why you gotta just keep going in winter, isn't it? Keep going and going and going. Especially when it's if you're in a section where it's hard for everyone. Right then, I've got to repeat that again, haven't I? Three pellets. Just give them a second to go down and do that drag. Incredible, isn't it? That's winter fishing. You know, they can be in pockets, and the time of day can be so important. Right, well, would you bet against another one? Unbelievable. Set that stopwatch. This swan's coming for me now. He's making a beeline for me. Come on then, go round again. You know you want to. Come on, swan. I'll give you a bit of a warning. Well, how long have we got? 2:33. So we've got 26 and a bit minutes left. I think we've got time for another one, haven't we? That was an indication then. That was a... just as I said that. Took just a bit of a rattle. Well, the lad on the end here, on the point of that island, I've just seen him get another one. So he'll have done well today. Well, in this section anyway. He hasn't caught anywhere near enough to compete with them down on the, you know, the middle of the bank. I've had a quick look down this margin again. I've just got a couple of roach rattles. So this is my second cast back on the bomb. There's literally only a couple of minutes left now. I've had one more indication on this. It's a really slow liner, which obviously would suggest it was a big fish, but it never materialised. I didn't get a bite or anything. So this will probably be the last cast, unless it goes round pretty sharpish. That's it. Done and dusted. Last 30 minutes. What you got? 60? 50? Well done, mate. Well, the sun is starting to set behind me. Looks very nice, doesn't it? yeah, I'm absolutely adamant that there must have been some way of catching at least 2 or 3 more fish in that in the first 4.5 hours. There must have been. I don't quite know, other than the waggler. Perhaps I've fed a little bit too much on the bomb line. I don't know, because I did really cut back in that second half, or certainly the last hour and a half. I've really cut back on the feed, and obviously I've not caught on it until the last 30 minutes. What was that coincidence? Was it time of day? Who knows? But you know, maybe I fed a little bit too much. I don't know. The corn side of things was interesting because I just got mithered a little bit with those little roach or the little fish rattles, and obviously the roach that I caught was on corn. But that was just a bit of a confidence thing putting that in. So yeah, it's been. I've really enjoyed it. Obviously when you've only got 2 rods set up like I have, then it's not going to take me long to pack away. And because we're fishing till 3 o'clock, or we have fished till 3, it means I'm going to be packed up and away before that midweek traffic on the M18. So I'm going to get these rods packed away, and it's going to be really interesting to see the weights. I'll put the full results up for you, and it definitely is going to warrant another visit. I'm going to try and get back here next week, and I will be armed with the waggler and a little bit more knowledge of the venue. Well, the 2 carp and 1 roach have gone £13 odd. Obviously, with 40 minutes to go, I definitely would have taken that. There have been some much bigger weights down there. There has been one of the weights disqualified as well, has gone over the net limits. But I'm going to get a full result on that when I get back up there. It's a lovely winter's evening, so we're going to go get in that traffic and I'll get the results for you. I know it's not been the most exciting match, but it has definitely been the hardest one of the winter so far. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed just sharing this match with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time.